Hello Shirley team, and welcome to the virtual Supervisor Safety Meeting for the month of October. First, I want to say we had a great year from January to August as far as recordables go, everyone working together and communicating and engaging all of our crews. We only had 5 recordables for that 8-month period. Unfortunately, the month of September haunted us somewhat, which we caught 4 more recordables. So what I would like to do is go back and do a recap of those 4 recordables that we gained the month of September and speak about them briefly. First, we had an incident, a backing incident on a project where a porta john was backed into by an operator in an excavator. This all could have been eliminated if we all would have had some situational awareness and evaluated the work area and the activities being performed. So when we talk about situational awareness, we need to realize what our plan is for the day, where we're going to be in 2 hours, what needs to be moved, what employees' vehicles may be parked in one location that they need to be moved, and it's up to everyone to speak up and say something, as you all have that power to speak up, say something when something doesn't look right or when you think something will occur. The second incident was an individual in the structure crew was climbing up a wall with a piece of rebar tie wire wrapped around his finger, and as he was climbing, he climbed into the wire, and although he did have the proper PPE on for the safety glasses, the wire poked into his eye. Fortunately, his eye wasn't injured that bad, but he was given an antibiotic to cut down any future infection that may occur. The third one occurred with a dump truck driver who had dumped a partial load of stone on a job. He lowered the bed, but there were some stones that was keeping the tailgate from fully latching and locking, so therefore he went out around and pried the tailgate open with both hands instead of using a shovel to open the tailgate and to prop it open while he properly cleaned it. The tailgate, being as heavy as it is, pulled out of one hand and his other hand stayed on it, and when it shut, it smashed and broke the tip of his finger. That could have been totally avoided if the proper tools would have been used to properly prop the tailgate open while he was doing his cleaning process before he moved on to his next task. The last one being a puncture to the hand with a piece of tie wire removing some silk pins. As you're all aware, we implemented a glove program a few years back, and now we're utilizing the cut level 3 gloves, everyone daily. This individual was utilizing leather work gloves and not the proper gloves that we issue here at Shirley. So therefore a piece of wire poked into his hand, causing an infection of which he was treated with an antibiotic. So taking that information and moving forward from now to the end of the year and on into the future, always remember to wear the proper PPE. Pay attention to your surroundings and where you're working, not just daily, but every moment of the day. Have someone on your crew be the one who's scanning for things that look to be potential hazards moving forward, so they can identify those hazards and relay them to the foreman. The foremen have a lot on their plate as it is with paperwork and keeping the crew working and getting their quantities that they need to get every day. So everyone else should step up. If you see something, say something, bring it to their attention, because sometimes they may overlook it, but let's all work together, finish the year on a positive note, and hopefully we won't have any more recordables. Thank you.
And I'm here to talk to you today about slips, trips, and falls. Everybody's favorite. We all know it. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. So I'm here to talk through some safety concepts and sell you on that idea. Okay, first, we got to define these things, because these are foreign concepts to most of us. I mean, who the heck knows what a slip is, a trip is, a fall is? Who knows? So let's start with slips. Start from the top, head on down. A slip happens when there's a loss of traction between your foot and what you're standing on. The number one thing there is traction. See, what we're talking about with traction is this right here. Traction, all about this, see? Okay, there we go. You gotta have good traction. If you don't have good traction, you ain't gonna go nowhere. So we take care of these here. We got a $50 boot reimbursement. If you ain't taking advantage of that, you should. Okay, moving on from there, we gotta go through trips. What's a trip? I don't know. Well, a trip is when someone catches their foot against an object or uneven terrain, or for the even more coordinated among us, even yourself. I've tripped over myself probably at some point in life. And finally, we gotta talk about a fall. A slip, a trip might culminate in what is called, in the industry, a fall. A fall is defined by Webster's as a much more severe injury where someone lands on their feet, torso or head, and is knocked over. Okay, now we've gotten this far, we've defined it, we know what we're talking about now. Now we gotta see it in action. See what can happen if we don't practice these tips at all. We need to see it. So let's take a look at a little video we have of my dear friend Eddie. Here we go. Absolutely tragic, was it not? It pained me to watch. But now we got to see how we could have prevented that. And a lot of this, in this case, could have been prevented by just good housekeeping. So now let's take a look at what we can do to prevent this in the future. See there, fellas? That's what teamwork looks like. And a great workout, too. Really gets the glute and the... Okay, doesn't matter. All right, fellas. I know we're all in a hurry. We're all in a rush. We're trying to get the job done, trying to do it on time and in the money. But sometimes we need to just stop, take a second, think about it, look around, check your surroundings, check your surface conditions. I don't want you all looking like Bambi out there on a whole bunch of ice. So just take your time, think about it. And the other thing to keep in mind is the quickest path to somewhere is not always the safest. It might take you an extra minute to walk away and walk around something, but it could save your life. You don't want to end up like my dear friend Eddie there. So let's take the path of least resistance and not get injured. To demonstrate that, because I love skits so much, and it is my favorite thing ever to be in these videos, I made another video with my good buddy Curtis. Let's take a look.
Hey Jack, come help me pick up the sign.
What?
You didn't take the safe route?
I probably should.
Why are you going over all that?
That's my fault. Thanks for
Dude,
looking
I
out
care
for
about
me.
you, man. You gotta take the safe route.
I think that's about all we got. But if you have any questions about slips, trips, or falls, please call the number at the bottom of your screen. And if you call now, well, I don't have anything to offer, but you could call now. I mean, you could. It's at the bottom of the screen, though. Call now. All right, let me just double check my notes here, see what I got. No, I think that's about it. Keep in mind, folks, don't slip, trip, and fall.
Good. La de aquí enfrente.
Okay. How y'all doing? I'm Brian Hackley. I'm here on the Richmond Henrico Turnpike job here in Richmond. Today we're going to talk about 3 points of contact. Today I'm going to be showing you various equipment, how to enter and exit on different pieces of equipment throughout your job site. So today we got the 650 John Deere dozer. So some of the things that I want to point out is when you look at this machine right here, we notice we don't have any steps right here. So Which you try to get on this machine by doing this. Once you're stretching yourself out and you're, giving yourself more problems, or what you need to do is walk around and then you can locate your step. So right there, your step, here's your walkway to this machine right here. So instead of trying to hop up over the tracks, you would come right in here, you got your step, you got your hand bar. So basically you would take your hand, one on top, one on bottom, depending right or left-handed if you are. Step, pull up, step, pull yourself up, and then you got your handrail to walk up the tracks. You're on your door. Notice how on these doors I got the hand knob, hand still on the rail. Here, I got a handle here. And plus you got a handle there to where here we just have to watch your step here. And you step right up in. And we're ready to go to work. Now on the Exodus machine, it's just repeat everything as you done first. You can pull yourself up with your handrail. Notice I got my hand on this rail, stepping out. I can move down. Basically you're just repeating everything. Doors shut. One hand here, one hand there. I can step down, bottom hand, and I'm back on the ground safely. Alright, so what we have here, we have a subcontractor from KP Glass. Of course today they're working on installing a manhole, so they're going to help me out on the proper way to use a ladder to go up and down in the trench right here. So Rudy, he's a pipe layer for KP Glass, been doing this for many years. So Rudy, we're going to go through, Rudy's going to inspect his ladder before he even puts it in use. So Rudy, as you see, all the rungs. No grease. And the feet works. So Rudy, I think we're ready to go down here and climb on in that hole right there. So pretty much what Brian and Rudy are doing, so they're going to be in and out of this hole numerous times a day. So as they're set up cold, they don't have anything to tie the ladder off to. So what we talked about doing today is Brian will be holding the ladder and Rudy he's up and down that ladder right there to make sure that ladder's nice and secure while Rudy gets down in the bottom. So you notice how Brian has got a firm grip on it, and then there's Rudy using his 3 points of contact to enter down in that hole. So once Rudy's down, Rudy, he goes and does his work. So most of the time we'll be pulling that ladder back out and then slide it back down as Rudy needs to come out. So when Rudy comes back out, Rudy would actually reach out, he'll check his 4 to 1, and then 3 points of contact, he will return back to the top with Brian holding the ladder. And then once Rudy's back up, they'll pull the ladder out, start the backfill, and then everything is fine. Then of course, with the ladder, we noticed we got the ladder extended 3 foot above their working surface. That way that gives Rudy enough room to climb completely out the hole with a small step back on the smooth surface. All right, now we're at the skid steer. One of my favorite pieces of equipment on the job, in my opinion. I think this is probably one of the most dangerous pieces of equipment on the job. I see a lot of people, how they get inside these skid steers, and some of them just kind of just hop up, go. Rarely using 3 points of contact, but let's show a way that you can use 3 points of contact and enter and exit this thing without falling. So first, you want to place your hand here, and then you have your hand on the door handle. Open the door as you're spreading open like this. Step. Then bring both feet up. Then come grab your inside bar and this bar. And then pull yourself into here. So from here, as you're rotating in, this one, this handle here, and then as you're sitting, you can shut the door. Now to get out of this machine, the same thing. You would open, hand on this handle, you're walking out, keeping your hand, you got your cab, the door, this handle, you got a firm grip, step back on the step, this hand comes back to your door, step down, other foot down, and you're back on the ground safely. All right, so our next piece of equipment I want to show, and this is a little awkward piece to try to get in and out, but getting in these pieces, basically handrail, one foot up on the track, step up, step in, you pull yourself up, still use your hand armrest, and then you can sit down. The thing I notice about this piece of equipment is when work is done. You worked all day, you're ready to go home, and I'm kind of talking about, if you're a little bit larger than what I am, so if you're on this tight space, it kind of makes it hard to get out at the end of the day. A lot of times I see a lot of people doing this, which isn't right. So to get out of this thing, to create yourself more room, if you're a little bit bigger than what I am, so basically you got these foot pedals. They flip up. I would clear those out the way. Slide your seat all the way back to give you more room. Then you can put yourself up, and on the inside you can kind of reposition yourself to where you can back out, to where I can grab hold of this handrail and this handrail, walk to the edge, step down while still maintaining 3 points of contact, and there you go. That's how you should get out of one of these little excavators right here if you're just a little bit bigger than me. To create yourself a little bit more room to where you're not leaning out and risk of falling out of it. All right, so here we are at a 349 excavator. I've seen people mount this machine various ways. I mean, this is probably one of the bigger excavators we got on site. I see a lot of people, when they mount on this, they'll grab the handrail, they'll have the foot here, and they'll try to get their fingers in that ring right here and pull up. With this ring, I can barely get 2 of my fingers in this ring. So pretty much you're holding on with one finger trying to pull yourself up. Which in reality, that's not the correct way to get up on there. What you should be doing is coming in, open your door, pushing your door back to where it latch. Now we got one hand on a handrail, 2 hands on a handrail, your foot on the step, and now you're just pulling yourself up. Walking up with your hand on your handrail here and your bar right here. Then we can step right in. Then you're ready to go to work. The X of this is just the opposite. You can step up, handrail, you step down, you can grab your handrail. Now, I have seen guys do this to where they would step to the side, they would unlock the door, step to the side, shut the door, and use that same latch to try to lower themselves down. Which I already said, I can't get 2 of my fingers in there. So basically, you just hold on to your handrails and you're walking down. And that's how you get off a 349 excavator. So, I want to talk about about your lunchbox. I see a lot of guys hopping up on these excavators with the lunchbox. Of course, they got the lunch for the day, everything they want to eat in the lunch bag. But what I've seen is these guys, they'll do everything right here. They'll get right about this point, and then the bag will slide off. So they're dangling off the step, one hand trying to wrestle the lunchbox back up on the shoulder, and then instead of doing this, you know, guys, why don't we just start doing this? You got your lunchbox. Why don't we just go ahead and get it off our shoulder as we're walking up? We can reach, set it in on the floor. That frees you up to climb up. Then you're back in your excavator when you leave for the day. Your lunchbox here on the floor. And there we go. You go home for the day, nice and safe. All right, guys, so in conclusion, we covered different pieces of equipment on the job site that you're encountering that would take 3 points of contact. Hopefully that information will help you out. Hopefully you can pass that on to others. If you have any questions, just contact your nearest safety personnel, and if you can talk to them more about 3 points of contact. As always, safety starts with you. Thank you.